today's session, what we're going to cover is to just look at fundamentals of Python, the foundational building
Mhm.
blocks, like what we are going to cover in the course of this, in the duration of this course. And then
Mhm.
we are going to look at the environment setup, like what environment we are going to use in order to be able to execute the code, right?
Okay.
So I'm just going to share my screen, bring up some PDF, right? And using that, you would be able to see like what I put together. Just give me a second. So see, initial some part of it is theory. So I will just use this PDF to explain that, right? And then we
Okay.
will go to Google Collaboratory setup, right? Which I will show you how to do, right?
Okay. Mhm.
Uh,
So what is the what is the tool that we are using for Python?
it's Google Colab. So it's
Okay.
essentially Jupyter Notebook hosted on Google Cloud,
Okay.
right?
So Jupyter can be downloaded also, right? I mean, can
Yes,
be set
yes,
up.
yes, yes. It can be set up on local. Sorry. The
Okay.
reason behind using that on cloud was that sometimes when people are setting up on the local, so they face a
Hmm.
lot of issues, and then what happens is like instead of a Python functional course, it becomes more of like debugging or technical course,
Ah, okay.
right?
Hmm.
So that's
Okay.
what the idea. Like you first get started, understand the basics, get familiar with the functional knowledge of Python, and then you can get into setting up, Python on not just Jupyter Notebook, but maybe other sophisticated compilers and tools such as your VS Code. VS Code is still on the easier side, but let's say there's what to say PyCharm or like any other soft tools which allows you code debugging and all.
Okay.
Right?
There's something called Spider also, right?
Spider is also there, right? Spider is similar to PyCharm, but PyCharm, as the name itself says, is specifically designed for Python. Spider,
Okay.
says you have Spider, right? It is part of your Anaconda, right? So the main major tool is Anaconda, and it has Spider as one of the compilers. Similarly, it has R Studio for R programming language, and for others, it has more compilers. So it is like a comprehensive package of different compilers for different
Okay.
programming languages, right? So these are good questions. I think that's good that you asked those, right? So in this session, if we were to look at closely, then we are going to look at some of the applications of Python in finance. Then we are going to introduce Python in the session, right? And then we are going to look at some of the factors which make Python superior to other programming languages, right? And in the end, we are going to closely look at the environment setup where G Collab, it's for Google Collab, right? This is for Google Collab, right? And Jupyter Notebooks, right? So essentially, G Collab is nothing but Jupyter Notebooks hosted on Google Cloud, right? I'm using my touchpad, so it is a bit handwriting may not be good, but yeah, I hope you get that. Google Cloud, right? All right. So first, look at applications of Python in finance, right? So let's start directly jump at some of the applications, right? Data analysis and visualization. Have you seen these courses or let's say blogs written about data analysis and data visualization, data processing in Python,
Uh, yeah. I mean, I've seen some LinkedIn posts, etc.
right? So what they're essentially doing is they are using Python libraries, right, such as Yahoo Finance or something, to import financial data, right,
Okay.
using the ticker of the company, and then on top of that, they do some analysis. This analysis could be related to, let's say, time series analysis, building a regression model, doing some sort of forecasting, or doing some sort of like, let's say, volatility clustering. Like it could be anything, like based on like the type of analysis you are doing. Let it be like fundamental, technical, quantitative, whatever it is, but that's what you are doing, right?
Okay.
In order to be able to see the results of your analysis, like sometimes you use some sort of plots or charts using libraries such as Matplotlib, right? So, libraries such as Pandas and NumPy will help you in the numerical analysis, right? And libraries such as Matplotlib or Plotly will help you in the visualization of your results, right? Depends on what you want to visualize. You want to visualize return time series, like which looks like a histogram, right? You want to calculate var from that, so you can use with Matplotlib to see that. We will do that in a later session when we would be looking at var, right?
We would be looking at
Value at risk,
var. Okay.
right?
So
So you
you
can.
so what kind of numerical data? I'm saying NumPy and Pandas. So what kind of numerical data are we looking at? I mean, it can be any data that we are statistical data that is required to be analyzed. Any statistical and
Yes, yes. So generally, this is time series data, right? So you are looking at daily stock values or let's say portfolio values, right? Then you calculate your P&Ls or returns, and then you do some sort of assessment on top of it, like you calculate VAR or expected shortfall. You might calculate portfolio values, portfolio weeks, right? So this kind of analysis is required. For example, if you want to do hedging, then you may need to calculate your sensitivity measures,
Mhm.
right? So this is the
Yeah.
kind of analysis you need to do, right? Most of it is done by NumPy and Pandas, right? The libraries NumPy and Pandas. NumPy is mentioned here, and Pandas. So already covered NumPy and Pandas in the webinar that I took, but I would just reiterate again that Pandas is used to denote your panel data, right? This is panel data.
What is panel data?
Panel is nothing but like a matrix, right? So your data cannot be in the form of a triangle, right? It has to have a form of two or three dimensional matrix. Right? This need not be square, it could be anything, but it has to be panel, right? I mean, it should have columns like this, right? And these columns, they can be anything, right? They can be like your strings, they can be your tuples, they can be your numbers. Like most of the times, these are strings and numbers, right? Just to give you one example, like let's say you want to build a scorecard model, right? Which you do in credit risk. You want to build a scorecard model, right? So you need the data for the user, which will have, let's say, the user's credit score, right? uh, his or her like city, country, state. These kind of columns could be strings, right? And
Okay.
score would be like let's say a number, right? It would be a number. And let's say the person's salary, so that would again be a number, right? So now it's a combination of your different types of combination of different data types, right? The
Hmm.
columns can be of different data types. This is
Hmm.
what happens in pandas. Now NumPy is different. NumPy does not allow that. It will allow you to have it will allow you to have columns as many as you want, but all of them should be numbers, right?
Oh, okay.
Right.
So you're saying any data that doesn't have say has a string, we should. I mean, we will generally be using pandas for that. and
Yes,
NumPy is basically only so regression testing, etc. So statistical, so between two data sets, if you want to test something,
exactly.
uh, correlations, etc.
Yes, exactly. Those kind of applications, like if you have a correlation covariance matrix and you want to do some sort of multiplication or something, then NumPy is the best, ideally suitable library, right?
Okay, okay.
So for at NumPy, I will see later, but that's why because of this special restriction that we put on NumPy, it has a functionality which we call vectorization, right? This essentially means that if you want to, let's say, some two columns, you want to, this is a column A and this is a column B, and now you want to create a third column, let's say, let's call it E, right? And E will store sum of A and B, right? So you need not run a loop item by item and store it here, right? That is not required. You can directly take sum of this and this and store it in A. Like we will see it later when we cover NumPy in detail, but this is
Okay.
essentially called vectorization. Like you are looking at as you are looking at entire column as a vector, as a single vector, and then doing operation on top of it.
Okay. Okay.
Got the sense? Like this
Yeah, yeah.
is how fast. This is how faster computation is achieved using NumPy. Now quantitative analysis. So see, Python is widely used for quantitative analysis and algorithmic trading both, right? I think you might be familiar with a lot of trading strategies if you have covered part one, FRM part one, right? And when we say
Hmm.
quantitative analysis, so there are three types of analysis, right? Your fundamental analysis, your technical analysis, and your quantitative analysis, right?
Hmm.
So fundamental analysis is mostly about looking at your cash flow statements, income statements, balance sheets, how the management is doing, how customer sentiment is for that particular company, and all of those things, right? Doing a lot of research, right? Uh,
Okay.
Technical analysis is something. This does not require Python much, like fundamental analysis, to be honest, because this is something you would see people with a background in CFA, MBA, they would do, right? And it requires looking closely at numbers, but not at large numbers. This is looking at balance sheet, cash flow statements, but they are not very complex in nature. So then you have technical analysis where you are looking at patterns, right? So you might be aware of some, trading, the technical trading, like that people say that bullish strategy, bearish strategy, and stop loss and kind of these terms, right?
Hmm.
Have you heard of this technical indicators?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So DMAs and everything. Yeah.
Exactly, moving average strategy or something like that.
Hmm.
So that is technical analysis. There Python is used, right? And then you have quantitative analysis, right? So this algorithmic trading is mostly towards, like, it could be either in quantitative analysis or in technical analysis, because the term is general, but in both Python is used. And then you have quantitative analysis, like so. Here you are modeling the asset prices as using the stochastic differential equation, right? And you are developing quantitative models for the behavior of any random variable, right? So, for example, if you model stocks, so you would need to see, like, what is the underlying volatility, returns distribution, and then you model its behavior using a stochastic differential equation. And if you're building any derivative on top of it, so you will use that. And now to price that, you can use Python. Right? So, for example, there are a lot of exotic options. If you have heard of like these options, like Asian options, Bermudan options, look back options, right? So
Yeah.
these are path dependent options, right? And for the pricing of these kind of instruments, right, which is nothing but part of quantitative analysis, you need Python to simulate the paths.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Then
So how so we use the libraries to determine the path, or so determine the distribution, etc. inside that, or
no,
that's
the
something that we assume.
distribution is already given, right? And using the distribution, the parameters of that distribution, you create
Hmm.
multiple asset paths, right? And then you store the output of those paths in, like, for example, in NumPy array,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Now, risk management. So Python is employed for risk assessment and management through tools like Monte Carlo simulations. This is essentially what I just spoke about, right? And
Hmm. Yeah.
professionals can model various financial scenarios to evaluate risk exposure and optimize risk mitigation strategies. So see, once you have asset paths, right, and you know what the asset price is going to be, so you can calculate, like, P&Ls like returns, and then using the VAR approach or expected shortfall approach, you can calculate the risk, right? Which is also something that we will calculate in, when we'll look at the VAR exercise towards the end of the course, right? So yeah, that's about risk management. And then the last one being financial modeling. Now, financial modeling is a very generic term, and that's why it's very broad. Like anything that we do in finance, even if a very simple model such as DCF, which is discounting cash flow, right? So even that comes as a financial modeling, right?
Okay.
But let's look at the scope of Python or financial modeling beyond the simple concepts that are being taught at most places. So if you speak about valuation or pricing, right, mostly same, meaning referring to the same thing, and forecasting, right? So for example, valuation and pricing of what? Of, let's say, derivatives, right? Valuation
Okay.
and pricing of derivatives, right? Right. Valuation of derivatives. Here you can have swaps, you can have bonds, swaps, bonds. Let's say some credit instrument, PDS. What else? Some equity, say options, right? Now you can use Python to price these, right? Then you can use Python in forecasting as well. What can you forecast? You can, let's say, forecast volatility. How can you forecast volatility? You can use expected weighted moving average and GARS models to forecast volatility, right? Uh, Incorporating variables such as interest rates, market trends, and economic indicators. So these can be taken care of if you, for example, look at some interest rate models such as Vasiche and Halvite, one factor or two factor. All right. So market trends, economic indicators, they would determine the shape of the yield curve, and to model it, you can use Halvite, Vasiche, or Cox Ingersoll Rose, and their parameters will take care of market sentiment, market trends, and economic indicators. This is something that we will not be covering in this course, but we'll cover in coming courses, upcoming courses, using Python how to model interest rates. All right.
Okay.
Uh, Up until this point, like, are you following? Like, how do we use Python? Where do we use Python?
Yeah, getting a gist of it.
Right?
Uh,
We have not done
yeah.
any hands-on, but this session is exactly not about just jumping into hands-on, but more first towards getting insight about where exactly is Python used in, especially related to quantitative finance and risk management, so that you get an idea of, okay, these kind of roles, if they are hiring, I can learn a bit of Python, and then I would be a suitable candidate for those roles. All right.
Okay.
Then automation of repetitive tasks. Now, this is something which is a very, I would say, this is something used repetitively, like in a lot of places. Whenever you have a repetitive task, you just automate that, right? Uh, so it has Selenium and Beautiful Soup, right? So these are mostly used. Beautiful Soup, for example, is used to interact with websites and to get data from there using JSON objects, right? So they are used for automating routine tasks like data collection, report generation, and trade execution, right? So, for example, if you have to generate a backtesting report on a daily basis from using PNL data, so you can calculate var, you can generate backtesting results, and you can generate a backtesting report using automation. Right? You don't have to do the same exercise again and again. Right? Then you have
So,
machine.
sorry, but we have libraries like Selenium and Beautiful Soup, is it? So,
Yes, these are libraries that are already provided. These are similar to NumPy and Pandas.
okay.
Then you have machine learning and you have predictive analytics, right? So when you go towards machine learning, right, or predictive analysis, so then scikit-learn and TensorFlow they come into picture, right? These are used for predictive analytics, right? Some of the popular applications in our field, they include credit scoring, fraud detection, and the market trend predictions, right? Most important is credit scoring, fraud detection, right? And even in ECL modeling, these are used, like expected credit loss. ECL is for expected credit loss. There you have to build your PD, PD, LGD, and PAD. Have you heard of these? ECL?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So there you will have to use regression, and for example for PD you have to use logistic regression. For these you have can use linear regression, and then you can calculate LGD and EAD values. Right. Now, blockchain and cryptocurrency. So, okay, Python is utilized in the development and analysis of blockchain application and smart contracts, right? Uh, I'm not going to speak much about this particular part because, to be frank, like this is not something that we most of the times we as part of risk management team don't deal with these things, right? But since Python plays a crucial role in this, so I thought of including this. It plays a significant role in cryptocurrency trading platforms, right? And development of blockchain-based financial instruments. So you might have heard of a lot of trading platforms which enable trading of bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies, not only in India but outside India, right? So yeah, that's one application of Python. Financial web scraping, again, you can either use for automation or to generate some particular to create some particular application. So Python is used for web scraping financial data from various sources. So a very simple example is when you use Yahoo Finance to scrape data from the website, right, using the ticker. So you have seen the part, right, where you are using Yahoo Finance to scrape data. This is essential for staying updated on market news, stock prices, and economic
So,
indicators.
is it different sources? So you program it in a way that you can uh, can use that information from different sources. Say there is something in Bloomberg and there is something in Yahoo Finance and there is something in Google Finance. So you take information from each of these and then combine it together.
It depends on what you want to do with the information. So, for example, if you want to create a portfolio of weighted stock, a weighted portfolio of different stocks, so you don't need to go to multiple sources. You just stick on one source, Yahoo Finance, and get the values and then assign different weights. But if you want to get different inputs, right? For example, if you want to get treasury yield curves, right? Like what do the 10-year treasury yield curve would look like? So then you need to switch your data source, right? So it depends
Okay,
like what essentially do you want to get from like from your script.
from the model.
So,
Okay.
yeah, like what kind of model you are building. For economic indicators, you will use a different website, right? So it's like that. Uh, Portfolio management, right? Python assists in optimizing and managing investment portfolios, right? Professionals can use it to analyze the performance of different assets. Okay, so essentially what you are doing is you are looking at the performance of different assets and then allocating resources effectively, right? And then rebalance based on changing market conditions, right? So you are rebalancing. It means this is a dynamic portfolio management, right? So maybe you have devised some sort of triggers which essentially create your rebalancing mechanism, right? Uh, and based on that, you are changing it. So you have a portfolio of let's say 5 assets. You have assigned different weights, right, to these different assets, right? Uh, when you say allocate resources, it's nothing but assigning weights, right? So you have assigned weights to your assets, right? The markets keep on changing. Based on it, your strategy would be automated in such a manner that it would assign different weights to different assets. So, for example, if you would see in US, the treasury bonds are not doing really well, right? Like people don't have a very good government sentiment, right? So essentially, your portfolio should be created in such a manner that at this point the weightage to those bonds should be decreased, ideally, right? Because they would be a poor performing asset at the moment, right?
Hmm.
Now, next is regulatory compliance. So, Python is used to automate compliance related tasks and reporting. Again, not something which is, I would say, like, sets at the core of what we do, right? But again, a very important application. So, Python can be used to ensure adherence to regulatory requirements and streamline the compliance process, right? So let's say compliance has given you a set of checklists, and then you can use Python to sort of verify that all those points are covered in your work or no. I'm not going into the deeper side of this part, right? Because this is not something which is very related to risk management or quantitative finance, right? So versatility of Python means its diverse applications. There are different scenarios in which it can be used, and with a combination of extensive ecosystem of libraries and frameworks, right? So it's vast application. Its usage in different scenarios, uh, and with an ecosystem of different libraries, right? Like you have different. It's an open source language, by the way, right? So anyone can develop libraries for Python, and anyone can use that for free, right? So you have this vast ecosystem of libraries and frameworks. Makes it a preferred choice of finance professionals who are aiming to enhance efficiency, conduct in-depth analysis, and stay ahead in the dynamic world of finance. Right? So from this, the two things I would take is that Python is versatile, right? it has different applications. It can be used in different scenarios. Python is not just for finance, although this course is for finance, but Python's applications extends much beyond finance in, let's say, healthcare, in data science, in e-commerce, right, in science, deep science tech, right, or anything, right. Wherever there is analysis required, programming required, Python is there, right? And you have those libraries and frameworks which are designed for multiple specific use cases, right? So this was just an introduction or motivation to study Python, like what are its different applications, why it is used, how you can use it to your in your particular work, right? Now we are going to take a look at introduction to Python, right? So Bhavesh, are you with me now till now?
Yes, yes.
Right. Are you finding it a bit interesting, like, about learning about Python?
Yes. Regarding its various applications, surely. Uh, more looking forward to having more
Hands
on how
on.
to apply. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we are just about to get there. Like you can see, uh, we will learn some a bit more about it, and then today we will do some setup. Right. From tomorrow we
Okay.
will do more hands on. Today
Sure.
it will be about setup and learning basics. Right. So let's start with the introduction, right? This is a high level and general purpose programming language known for its simplicity, readability, and versatility. It was created by, please remember this name, Guido Van Rossum, right? Because he created this, right? And it was first released in 1991, probably around the time when we might have born, right? So it is not very old programming language, right? It has gained widespread popularity and become one of the most widely used programming languages. Uh, so its core is code readability, right, and a clean syntax. These are the core principles of Python, right? And because of this, you can write fewer lines of code as compared to Java or C++, right, to achieve the same functionality. It suffers from speed as compared to C++ or Java for these reasons, right? For the advantage that you can achieve the same purpose with less number of lines. But for most of the applications, the difference in speed does not matter that we have in Python or these C++ or Java. Right? So it supports multiple programming paradigms, including procedural, object-oriented, and functional programming, making it suitable for a wide range of applications. So what does procedural means? Like, it follows if you write code in a way like procedure one, procedure two. So then first this procedure will get executed, then this will get executed, then this will get executed. It has it is object oriented, so it follows the concept of hoops. So you can have classes, you can define classes in Python, and functional programming, right? It can have functions, right? Making it is suitable for making it suitable for a wide range of applications. Again, see, some part of it speaks about something which we have already discussed about, that it is sort of the it has a vibrant community, right? So because it's open source, right, and they contribute to its robust ecosystem. So from web development and data science to artificial intelligence and automation, it has great applications. Right? So this is something we have already covered. So regardless of the fact that you're a beginner or experienced developer, Python is a good choice for learning, prototyping, and building scalable applications. Okay, now we come to okay. Let's go back. We have covered applications of Python in finance, introduction to Python. Now the third and the last topic in terms of, let's say, just looking at theory is Python supremacy, right? We're just going to cover this, not many points here, right? So first is about the syntax, right? So it has similarities to the English language and with influence from mathematics, right? So you can declare variables pretty much like, for example, I can write x is equal to 5, y is equal to 6, z is equal to x plus y. What do you think would be the value of z?
11.
Yes, right. So this is very simple. It uses new lines to complete a command as compared to other language which often use semicolons. So it does not have a concept of a semicolons or parenthesis to complete a command, right? We will look at this like in some examples, coming examples. Python uses indentation or white spaces to define scope, right? So both these terms, indentation, right, and white spaces, we have to be careful about these, right? We'll discuss the scope in later sessions, but the word indentation and white spaces, uh, there is some noise from your side. Can you mute? Example, hello world
My
in Python.
I'll mute myself. My side, I think I'll mute myself.
Okay, Swati. I think you joined
Yeah.
later. When did you join? Just now?
Yeah. Sorry, I joined a little late. I joined at 12:20.
Okay, no worries, that's fine. So, okay, I think now is the time I will open up one Google Colab, right? So I'll tell you how to open it. Go to your drive, right? Create any folder, right? Uh, I'm
Google
creating,
Drive, is it?
yes, Google Drive, because you can also open Google Drive. And let's call it my workspace. Create a folder. This is the folder you can use to store. You can move it later, like to wherever you want. And then go to new file, more, Google Collaboratory. You see this sign with sort of an infinity,
Okay.
right? Swati, can you see this? Swati, is this?
Uh, I'm not getting that.
I'm
We are not.
on. So yeah, I can see it. I'm able to.
Okay. Uh, Bhavesh, are you going to more?
Yeah.
When you go to more, do you see Google Collaboratory?
No, I don't see that.
Hmm, it's strange.
Can I search
Uh,
that? Wait. Okay. I think I can search it. Wait a second. Yeah. I need to install it.
I think it should come by default.
Not sure.
Connect more apps and then try.
Yeah. Now it's coming.
It's coming. Okay. So both of you go to Google Collaboratory and click on that. A file will open.
Okay.
All right. Name this file. Let's say let's call it session one. But I All right. We're going to do some very simple testing here, and see here says connect, right? It will come automatically. So before we begin, see some of the things: file, edit, view, insert, runtime, tools, help, right? Commands, code, and text, right? So there are two types of cell in Jupyter Notebook, right? And say similar to Jupyter Notebook, here in Google Collaboratory Notebook as well. Code cells and text cells. Code cells is where you can execute your code, and text cells are where you can simply write some commentary or some comments about those
Notes,
codes.
right?
Yeah, sort of notes. So here, if I write a is equal to 5 and print a, and let's run this. So from here I can run, and as soon as click on run, this says connecting, and here the message I am seeing: connecting to Python 3, initializing Python 3. It's connected, it's fine, and here I see 5. Got it? Now if I want to create more cells, I will scroll to here, the middle of the bottom of this cell, and it will ask me like what kind of cell do you want to create, a code cell or a text cell, right? I would create a text cell, and I would see different kind of options available, like toggle heading, bold, italics, code snippet, link, right, image, some quotations or quote, right, uh, numbered list, bulleted list, horizontal rule. I don't know this is
Pratik, are
later.
you there?
Yes.
Satya, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Bhavesh.
Wait, what happened? We can hear you, Bhavesh. Are we audible?
Hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
No, he cannot hear us, I think.
Yeah, seems like Bhavesh cannot hear us.
3 devices connected. I'm not able to hear you guys. You're on mute, Pratik.
Uh, no, I'm not. Swati, can you hear me?
It's showing mute here.
Yes, yes.
Even Swati.
No,
No,
for
I think you can rejoin the session and try.
yeah,
Okay, give a second.
sure. Okay, Bhavesh, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, yeah, now I'm able to hear.
Okay, cool. So see, we did. I don't think you missed out on a lot. It's just that I declared a variable a, assigned it a value of 5, and then printed that, right? And
Okay.
next, what we did is added a tag.
Pratik,
Yes.
so in your first code, 1 and 2 are mentioned, right? That has not come for me. For me, it is. Did you type that 1 and 2?
No, no. This is just to indicate line numbers.
Okay, but that has not come for me.
Did you execute the code?
Yeah, even for
Yes,
me, it's not
I.
coming. Maybe something to do with the settings.
It could be. It
Okay,
could be. It could be possible. Like you can check later, but it's something very minor. Like nothing to do with functional use issue. You can check like how to
okay,
view line numbers in the code. I remember
okay.
having done that in the settings, I think once. So if you do this, you will be able to find it. See, show line numbers. You go to
Okay,
here,
that is the
data,
setting.
yeah,
Okay,
tool settings, and then you can find the data.
yeah, got it.
Okay, cool. Great. Uh, Next, if we want to enter some text, so we go to text, write some, let's say, heading, uh, print hello world. This is text, not code. Now we are going to add a code after this, right? So you see this is the
Okay,
heading.
one question. Now, this you printed, you said print hello world, and you wrote that in double hash, right? That's for basically adding a comment.
Yeah.
Uh, but you also added a text and you did that, right? So how is it different? You can directly do that in the, you can't do that in the code.
So for double hash, this okay, this is slightly different. If I'm adding it in the code, so then this hash would mean a comment. I'm adding it
Okay.
in a text cell, so here it means a heading. So you can see
Okay.
that if I do single hash, it increased, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I do three hash, it decreased, or four hash.
Okay.
So this is H1, H2, H3, H4. This is H4,
Okay.
heading 4.
Heading kind of. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Exactly,
Got it.
right? So this is what I did there. Now I'm going to actually in the code cell print hello world. Okay. So I printed hello world. I would advise both of you to try this as I'm speaking and let me know if you're able to print hello world. I would take a pause.
Yep.
Both of you able to print hello world?
Yes.
Okay, great. Uh, okay, let's go next to why Python for finance, right? So see, there are three cases written here: versatility, ease of learning, rich ecosystem. In some manner, like we have already covered these points above, right? So Python is versatile, right? So it can handle different types of tasks, like from data manipulation to modeling and to visualization. Right? It's ease of learning, so its syntax is clear, right? And it has a support of extensive libraries, which kind of makes it accessible for beginners and experts both, right? Its ecosystem. So since it's open source and supported by a lot of like developers to community, so it offers a like number of financial libraries which ensures the support and resources is at your fingertips, right? So again, this is sort of a theory bit, but important to know like why Python's growing um, adoption, what triggers Python's growing adoption, right? Okay, now coming to the interesting part, Python libraries, right? So we are going to look at three: Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib in general, right? So these are Pandas, as I told you, it simplifies parallel data analysis in Python, right? It provides powerful tools for efficient manipulation and summarization of multi-dimensional data sets, right? Manipulation as well and summarization as well, right? Which enhances your accessibility in insights of financial modeling and analysis. All right, modeling and analysis. You can do this using pandas, NumPy, numerical Python, right? So it provides support for large multi-dimensional arrays and matrices, along with a collection of mathematical functions. Right, it itself comes with its functions, mathematical functions. to operate on these arrays. And remember, like these are numerical arrays, right? Matplotlib is a versatile Python library for creating static or animated and interactive visualization. So the keyword is visualization, right? It provides a wide range of plotting options, right? We have a wide range for plotting options, customization features, and seamless integration with NumPy. Now this is very critical, right? Because in NumPy you will do your calculations and you will get the results, right? Let's say you get two arrays and you want to plot them. One array stores, let's say, some values on x, and some one array just store some values on y, and then you want to plot on Matplotlib. You can easily do it using Matplotlib because it has integration with NumPy. We will see this later as we will when we'll explore these libraries. But for now, please remember these points, right? So this makes,
Pratik, one doubt.
yeah,
S- So basic math functions, for that you don't need to install NumPy, right? Like as
no,
you
yes,
did A is equal to 5 and we can just add 1 plus 5 and we can print the value. For that we don't need to install NumPy, right?
yes, we don't. It's just that if you're doing the same thing for, let's say, large array, then you will have to, right?
Okay, got it.
Right? Do if you're doing it for two columns in a matrix, then you will have to, right? Now,
Okay.
let's. So what have we covered so far? We have covered applications of Python in finance. We have covered introduction to Python, Python supremacy. Now we are going to look at Python environment setup, Google Colab and Jupyter Notebook. So see, in a manner we have already done the setup, right? Google Colab we have already done, right, and Jupyter Notebook. So just to introduce you, it is Colab is we are going to use Google Colab for this course. Colab is a hosted Jupyter Notebook service, cloud hosted, that requires no setup to use and provides free access to computing resources such as GPUs and integration with Google Drive. Right. So it offers the advantage of running Jupyter notebooks in the cloud. Right? So you can run Jupyter notebook in the cloud, making it accessible from any device within an internet connection. Right. So for example, if you install Jupyter Notebook or Python on your local, and then you want to run those scripts from a different device or a different computer, you'll have to port those scripts, right? But here, as long as you have an internet connection, you can run these even from your cell phone, right? You only need to have an active internet connection. It is well suited to machine learning, data science, and education. Uh, why? Because you can write a lot of commentary related to it, not just in Python in the form of Python comments, but in your Markdown, right? So this essentially what you have written here is Markdown. Right? So Markdown is a rich text formatting way of adding commentary to your work. Right? I will just what is Markdown? It is a markup language used for formatting plain text documents. It is designed to be easy to read and write, and can be used to create headings, lists, links, and other elements. Markdown is often used in online forums, collaborative software, documentation, and readme files. Alright. So, what is different is Markdown is that there are some syntax for different things. For example, how to write headings and all of that. But it's very easy to pick up, right? There are not many other different things. Whatever is there, it's there here, right? So, for example, if I write, right, now I can write, right? So, if I do, click elsewhere, and I click now. You see what happened? Now this is something which you cannot do in here in Python commenting. You can do that in Markdown, but not in Python. Make sense?
Yes.
I didn't get the difference. I mean, so in Jupyter itself, there are two versions of comments. So two versions of languages. Is that the case?
The
Or
language
in
is
Python?
Python only, but when it comes to annotation, code annotation, there are two ways of annotation. Like here, if you write, uh, I would write declaring a variable a with value of 5. I would do commenting like this in Python, printing the value of a. This is how I would do commenting in Python in general, right?
Okay. Yes.
But in Jupyter Notebook, I can do more rich, comprehensive commenting, right? For example, you want to write a, assume you want to write a piece of code for credit risk scorecard model, and then one section is completely going to be about backtesting, right? So you will not write, of course you are going to write like each small code, but you can write one complete paragraph if you want to write a one complete paragraph about that tag, about that program. So it's better to write that in this markdown, because this is a text formatter. The functionality is
Mhm.
that it can give you like adding headings and links and all of that, or image, inserting an image. For example, if you want to insert an image, right? So that you cannot do, right, in this normal
Python.
commenting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Normal
Python
Yeah.
comments,
Correct.
right?
Okay. Got it.
So this was this. So what are Jupyter notebooks? So specifically speaking about Jupyter notebooks. So Jupyter Notebook is an open source and interactive computing environment which allows users to create and share documents containing live codes, equations, visualization, and narrative text. The name Jupyter is a combination of, okay, this is important. It's a combination of three programming languages: Julia, Python, and R. Right? Originally, Jupyter notebooks were known as IPython notebooks, with IPython standing for Interactive Python. Okay. Uh, Key features and components of Jupyter notebooks. Again, see some of the theory part, but let's just go through and get done with this once. Interactive computing. So Jupyter notebooks provide an interactive environment where you can execute code in a step-by-step manner. This is particularly useful for data analysis, scientific computing, and iterative development. So see, what do we mean by step-by-step? Uh, let's say I at a is equal to 5. Let's delete this for the moment. Then I write a is equal to 5. Create one more code. Let's call it 6. Okay. Now, ideally, I should be writing code in a manner so that this should be run after this. I mean, they should run sequentially. If I don't do that, so something bizarre happens. So a is equal to 5. What if I print a, like, what would I get? I have run only one cell. You can see from this checkbox, I have run only this cell. And I want to print the value of a. What would I get?
5.
Bhavesh, what do you
5.
think?
Yeah. Same. Why?
Five. Five, right? Now let's say I run third cell. What do you think would be the value now?
7.
7.
Right. Okay. Now I run this cell. What would be the value? What would be the value like if I run this now? This second block.
Supposed to be 6.
What do you think, Swati, would be the value? Swati, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. In the code you have mentioned print 7.
Okay. If I print A,
Yeah, it should still be 7.
it should still be 7. It's 6.
6.
Because our latest uploaded by 6. Now see why this is a tricky situation. Uh, when I when I run this code and this code and this code, right? So I know the sequence, and that's why I know okay the latest code the latest cell which is run is this one, right? So I know the value of A is 6. But if I don't give you that sequence and I just give you this code, and if I ask you that what would be the value of A, so you would the natural tendency to think would be that this code is being run in a sequential manner, right? And the value would be 7. Getting my point? Wish, Shati, did you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So see, that's why when I write this statement that in a step-by-step manner, right? You can execute code in a step-by-step manner. So do not never write your code in a manner which is like confusing. So always write what a step should come, what step should logically come next in the next cell of the Jupyter notebook. Do not you cannot just move around those steps, right? If there are 5 steps of doing something and there's that ordering of steps has a particular significance attached to it, so that has to be taken care of in Python Jupyter notebooks as well. Got my point?
yes.
Okay, cool. Support for multiple languages. While Jupyter is often associated with Python, it supports multiple programming languages. This includes Julia, R, Scala, and others, making it a versatile tool for various data science and computational tasks. So, as we saw, like Jupyter stands for Julia, Python, and R, right? So these are the other languages which are supported on this, right? Mix of code and text. We have already seen this. Like there are coding cells and there are markdown cells, right? So the combination of code and narrative text makes it easy to create and share documents that explain the thought process, methodology, and results of a computational analysis. Rich output. So Jupyter notebooks can display rich output, which includes interactive visualizations, plots, images, and multimedia. It this makes them suitable for conveying complex ideas in a visually appealing way. So, kind of like a combination of this and this. Here you can insert comments, and here you can generate rich output. Right. Notebook files, IPyNB, interactive Python notebook. Right. So these are saved in a file format with the extension .ipynb. The files store both the content, code, text, and output, and the metadata. Right. The file format is JSON based. Extensible and customizable. Jupyter supports a wide range of extensions and plugins, which allows the users to customize their environment. This contributes to Jupyter's popularity in various scientific and data science communities. Right. So, a bit of a theory, like again, it is used a lot in academic research, data science, and industry. The combination of date code and text, right? Basically, like the markdown dust coding feature. This makes notebooks an effective tool for communicating and sharing computational work. We have already seen Markdown cells and Python cells. Python cells are used to execute the code, and Markdown cells are used to format text. You can use Markdown to add headings, subheadings, lists, images, and more. Right. Some basic operations of Jupyter Notebook: saving and creating checkpoints. Right. So this is almost the end of today's session. We are heading towards the end of today's session. I want you to do these basic checks and get yourself a bit familiarized. We have already started, using Jupyter Notebook today, seen a few operations. So first, I would want you to do create a cell, right? I mean, go go to code, write anything print hello world, right? And save your code and see if your work is being saved or not. So execute this, right? And when you do Control S, it says here saving, and the message you will get saved successfully. So please do this and tell me if you are able to do that.
Yes, able to do.
Okay, then there Shift Enter,
I'm not able to do. Uh,
Control S, Command S. What are you using, MacBook or Windows?
Windows.
Windows, so Control S should work.
No, so I tried this print hello world. It's not running that. I don't know any reason.
No, it will not run, but it is saving, right? Control S. It
Yeah,
will
Maybe you
it's
run.
have it on text.
I will show you how to run it. But first, you are able to save it.
yes.
Okay, cool. Now go to that cell and please press Shift and Enter. Shift plus Enter.
Hmm.
So did you see that cell run and you come to next cell?
Yeah, I mean it didn't run. There's some issue, but yeah.
What issue? What? So
Okay,
Swati, if you
okay.
go to this cell, what happened?
I think the print was in um it was in uppercase. That's the reason. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's running. Yeah.
Swati, what about you?
Yes, it's running.
It's running and going to the next cell, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this was about saving and creating checkpoints. Okay. Now next is cell creation. Right. So A and B, A creates a new code cell above the current cell, and B creates a new code cell below the current cell. Now, if you are here in the new cell, right? So wait, this setting has to be defined somehow. Okay, so see, I think the shortcuts are changed here now. I'll have to reset them. But from here, you can reset your shortcuts, right? Uh, Based on what you want. Generally, see, if you are through with this, to be honest, you know don't need a lot of shortcuts. So for example, the shortcut which I was looking at, it says if you want to add a code cell above this, right? So generally above this, if you want to add, you click on this cell, right? You go here and you can see like whether you want to create a code cell or a text cell after, right, after the previous cell, right? So you can create either code cell, you can create one text cell. This is what you would get, right? If you want to delete, then select the cell and delete it here, right? So I mean, you
Okay.
can skip all of these, right? Undo and redo. I think Control Z and Control edit, undo and redo. Yes, the shortcuts have been changed in my system, so that's why those ones are not working. You can reset them, not a big, right? But other option is to do undo and redo using these options, like from edit, and change the shortcuts from tool settings, right? So today it was just an
Okay.
introduction. So the class was generally supposed to be like 1.5 hours. We also did not take any break in between, right? But hopefully, I think you got started. So if you have any doubts, just ask me. I will stop presenting my screen. I'm hoping like the doubts are not related to something which would require my share my screen.
So you will be sharing that document with us?
Yes, it's already uploaded. Like you can see that in your uh, course material, you will find this uh, session one with you, right? Are you referring to PDF?
Yeah, yeah, the PDF.
Okay, I'll upload the PDF as well. That's
Okay.
any other doubts from you, Swati?
No,
So
it's clear.
Right?
so the set
Uh,
okay. So the thing that you uploaded was, is it something, is it regarding the setup there? I mean,
yes,
sorry.
exactly. So it was the Jupyter notebook. It's a Jupyter notebook, right? Has
Okay.
the codes. So it will not have too much detailed theory, but it will have all the codes that are being there. For first session,
Okay.
like we didn't have a lot of codes, right? But from second
Yeah, yeah.
session onwards, like we'll have more codes. So I have attached that so that in case you're stuck somewhere, you can just go to that, refer to that, you know, Jupyter notebook and then replicate the codes.